Hi, this is Faxi Nadu, and today I want to talk about one of my all-time favorite synths and pieces of gear, the Yamaha AN1x. If you know me, then have talked to me, then I often advocate for this synth. And if you just kind of take a random look at it, you might not understand why I like it so much. I think it's really underrated and can be had for an amazing price these days. I've gotten mine for around 300 US dollars many years ago, like 10 years ago. They still go for around that price. Maybe today they're starting to get a little bit more expensive because people are starting to realize what a true gem this synth is. So why is it such a great synth? First of all, it sounds amazing. We'll get to the sound in just a second. But I think just overall, okay, it's a full-fledged synth. It has everything you could ever want and need in a virtual analog synth, as well as some unique quirks that only this machine has. Along with the Yamaha, there's another product called the Yamaha AN200, which is a box kind of like this box. This is the Yamaha DX200. The AN200 is the same, only instead of the DX engine, it has an AN engine inside. But in my opinion, it just doesn't compare. This is a much better machine and showcases the AN technology in a much better way. So first of all, the sound is very good, very fat for digital. It's actually not that cold. If you compare it to the Nord lead, it's much warmer than the Nord lead. Probably not as warm as something like the Virus, but in a different kind of way. It can get really, you can get really fat sounds, and you can get really thin sort of sounds that fit very nicely in the mix. One of the things that people, the first thing that people go to when they're talking about synths is obviously the filter. And in my opinion, in this synth, the filter sounds amazing. Let's get to there's this init preset. Very musical, very warm. It does have that little digital steppiness as you turn the knob. There's no zipper noise, but it does, you can hear obviously the spots the filter is in, unlike analog. But it's actually a nice feature here because in many of our tracks we actually play a melody using that characteristic of the filter. Now we'll get back to the sounds in just a second. But I want to talk a little bit about why I really like the design of this machine. First of all, you do have just a small little screen. In many synths, like in the Waldorf line of like the Micro Q or something, it is very annoying because you have this little menu, you have a few knobs, and then basically you have to kind of scroll, kind of semi-look, semi-guess, semi-learn where all the features are, and kind of scroll and get to each one. So here you do have a small LCD. But you don't really have to scroll. You don't need to use the LCD except for the information provided. For example, right now it's telling me the parameter of the filter cutoff. Everything else that I want to do, I can do just using the front panel. So right here you have basically 8 feature blocks, which is logically laid out. Like for example, this would be the sync FM mechanism, this would be the filter mechanism, and then these 8 knobs will move things corresponding to where you are here on which block you are. And it's very conveniently written, so you don't really have to know anything, you don't have to really remember anything. Okay, VCA, easily, VCA, release, there we go, there's the release, I can tweak the release. It's as easy as that, and you have a ton of parameters over your fingertips, obviously 8 times 8, so you have 64 parameters right here, right now, that you can get to, and you can get to fast, unlike other menu-driven sort of digital synths. Another awesome feature. Let's say right now I've changed presets. Now many synths, they will do this with a never-ending rotary encoder knob. Okay, and I really don't like the feel of these knobs so much. It's usually not so playable with these knobs. So what they did here is they went for another approach. If we want to, let's see, okay, right now we changed the preset, and our knob is somewhere that might not correspond to the actual preset. So if I click VCF and I go to the filter parameter, I can click the knob and it'll instantly tell me what it's set to. So it is set to 60. So let's say, okay, I tweaked it. I tweak resonance now. And I want to know again, oh wait, what was the filter parameter? Click on it and it'll show me, which is totally awesome. I think you can always know where you're at before you start tweaking a parameter. Okay, let's say I want to change the release, but I'm not sure, you know, I do like the release like this, so I know it's on, I just click it, it's on 27, I can tweak away. Oh no, I ruined it. Okay, it was 27, simple as that. Go back to 27 and I'm all good. So yeah, this is a pretty awesome feature. Other cool things, beyond 64 sound parameters that are direct control kind of parameters, you have the more in-depth stuff right here, and it is also really easily approached. Everything is written down on your matrix, and each group has their own up and down slider, and all you got to do, I have a knob missing here, I'm sorry, but all you got to do is switch the potentiometer to the place you want and then tweak away. So for example, we had that arpeggiator, where was it? Okay, here we go. Let's say I want to change the tempo. It's as easy as looking up. Let's see. Tempo, right here. So I go to the second one, move right here, and there we go. I'm changing the tempo. Really fast, you know, a day with the machine, and you know everything you need to know in order to tweak away and get really great results fast. The keyboard feels pretty good. It feels much better than let's say the keyboard on the Nord Lead or on some of the cheap Korgs. You know, it feels much better than the keyboard on this MS-20, which feels really like a toy. I think it's almost as good as like say a Korg Triton or something like that. That's more for a keyboardist. You also get five octaves, which is great. The knobs feel really good. Obviously, you can see that I've lost 3 of them, but for a synth that's I don't know, about 20 years old, I think it's reasonable. It's still working perfectly. The modulation wheel feels great. The pitch bend and the ribbon controller still works after all this time. So let's get to another thing that is a huge plus on this synth, which is the editor. Many synths today do have an editor. Back when this baby was released, it wasn't as common, and I do think that this specific editor for the AN1X is as good or better than, I don't know, maybe 90% or even like all other editors that I've tried, which isn't much, but I can say that it's better than the editor for the Roland SH201 that we have over here, and some of the editors for the Waldorfs that I've messed around with, and for the Mofo and some others. This is clearly on another level. One of the first things that sets it apart, you got tabbed browsing for your preset packs. So all I got to do is I can download from the internet or whatever. I can download a patch bank, load it up, and you can load a ton of them. You can load like as many as you want, as many patch banks as you want, move around between the banks, instantly load presets from within the bank. They can be categorized, they can have like an actual description to them. It's awesome. You get tons of sounds, your own sounds. You can save them and really quickly and manage the library in a really good way. The editor also lets you control the synths here, the synths parameters here, which is basically the same as the knobs. At first, when I got this synth, yeah, I was messing with the editor, but the interface of the synth is so easy that really quickly I found that I don't even need to use the editor at all, because the synth is so great to work with right with the knobs. What is cool here is you do get to see what the whole AN concept, it's called the AN1x, and what the concept means actually, what they've done here. So it's a 2-OSC synth, and it's got really cool and unique routing between the oscillators, between sync between them and FM between them in varying algorithms, which is really cool. You get unique sounds. You can get different things to be the FM source or the pitch source or the sync source. it's really unique. You got to play with it and hear it to kind of get the idea of what it does. Bottom line is it brings out a really sort of I don't know how to exactly define it, but a sort of grungy but clean quality to the sound. Sort of like in this preset, you can hear the sync here, and it's really unique. So the AN technology, again, is really unique if you have a look at it and read up on it a little bit. It's different than most subtractive synths, and it's basically using two oscillators to get a lot going, along with a ring modulator, feedback internally, noise oscillator. This synth is truly, truly full-fledged. Getting to the arpeggiator, which can be programmed with like chords or a ton of arpeggiator types. Speed, tempo, whatever, swing, everything can be controlled. The arpeggiator is really, really strong here. Along with 4 effects, actually. You get a 3-band EQ, a variation effect, which you have a ton of effects on this machine. Delay line with different algorithms, and actually quite a bunch of reverb algorithms, and you can use all these effects together, which is, again, if you compare this to similar machines like, I don't know, our Novation K-Station, which is somewhere in the room, or whatever, you know, even the Virus, other machines, there's just no way here though. There's the K-Station. Woo! I like that one too, but again, the AN1x provides much more in terms of sound design, what you can do with the sounds, and yeah, look at it. Tons of parameters, tons of knobs. Okay, another thing, you have a modulation matrix, which is amazing. Again, this is kind of, I don't know, rudimentary, but you have it. And you do have a free EG, which is like a drawn envelope, which is, again, it's not so common even today, and this is a late 90s machine. It came around when Nord Lead 1 came out, and look, you can actually draw. Damn, I mean, you can draw your envelopes. Granted, you kind of need the editor to actually really draw anything, but still, this is pretty amazing. You can have automations like right inside the synth at that day and age, and you can actually draw like sine waves and like I don't know, look at it, it's pretty crazy shit right here. Yeah, different things, just checking it out. I'm amazed each time. So you get actually 4 tracks of this. You get 4 separate free-flowing envelopes. You can control how fast they go and how long they are in seconds or in bars. Again, this just has, every time I open this, it's like everything you could ever think of, every parameter, everything you would want to control is like right at your fingertips. So here we go. This is the Yamaha AN1x. Some of the sounds. The factory presets aren't that great, but they do give you, over the years I've started to like them more because you have a bunch of sort of init presets that you can load up and really quickly go from there and make your own things. You could easily start with this bass for a bass patch. Strings are really nice. Fully polyphonic. And again, you can download a ton of patches from the internet, and yeah, that's it. Works pretty well. The editor and the machine itself work via MIDI, so it's maybe not as fast as USB, but once you get it connected and hooked up, it's stable and works well. And again, for the price these go today, I think it's a no-brainer. If you can find one, just grab it, and I don't think you'll ever be sorry. It's a definite keeper for me. So, Yamaha AN1x, have a good one, enjoy, see you later.